Bienvenidos al primer episodio de Pregúntale a Pablo.
Woo!
All right, so we're gonna start getting to know Pablo.
Okay.
Para la gente que todavía no te conoce, ¿quién es Pablo Rivera?
Es una pregunta complicada, pero pues Pablo Rivera es de Carolina, Puerto Rico, es un abogado en San Antonio de lesiones personales, tiene 3 hijos, casado, le gusta el béisbol, las amistades, no sé, como que la cerveza y trata de vivir cada día con...
What would you say is your favorite beer? Go-to beer.
My go-to beer, it depends though. Because if I'm in Puerto Rico or at the beach, I like light beer, like Medalla. Like if I'm Puerto Rico, I just drink Medalla because it's a light beer from Puerto Rico. And during the winter, and if I'm not in some place hot, I love Guinness. Like I love Guinness.
A
And
loaf of bread.
it's not loaf of bread. I don't know why they keep saying that. It's not even that. Actually, I can drink it faster than the other beer because it's less like bubbly. It's just like smoother. But I just like all kinds of beer, lagers. But it depends on the day because I'm not gonna be at the beach drinking a Guinness with a 95-degree temperature.
Let's see. So, creciste en Puerto Rico.
See,
What's the best beach to visit in Puerto Rico?
best beach to visit in Puerto Rico. Well, they keep saying that the one in Culebra is one of the most beautiful beaches, called Flamingo Beach. Flamingo. I think I've been once, and it was like when I was in high school, so just a couple of years ago, and it was beautiful. But the thing about Puerto Rico is I have a lot of beaches around. Like even where I grew up, in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you could get to a beach that is crystal clear and that is a beautiful place.
What's your favorite one to go to?
Usually we go, it's called La Posita on Piñones. And it's because, number one, there's a lot of places. It's close to my mom's house and where I grew up, but it's a lot of places where you can eat food and buy drinks all around the street. And then there's this place called La Posita because it has like this like rock coral barrier that doesn't let the waves come in, and it's like it's like clear, but not, you can go with the kids and it's not dangerous.
And let's see. So that's your favorite beach, you'd say?
Well, it's the one that like the
you have
default.
The most memories?
Yes, like I used to go. Yeah, my go-to. Like if I go, because there was the one in Isla Verde, Condado. It's really beautiful, but it's usually like full and touristy, and the waves are harsher. Like if you go with kids, it's not.
Have you ever seen the bioluminescent bays?
Yes. I've seen 2. The first one, I think, is when I was a kid, and I don't know if it was the one by the West or the one in Fajardo. But then recently we went to the one in Vieques, which is one of the best ones in the world, and it was a great experience. And I know you were all excited because you were disappointed we didn't go the first time.
I was, but also in my defense, I didn't realize it was such an effort to get there.
Yeah, like it's not like, hey, let's go see those bioluminescent.
We're in Puerto Rico. You could drive right.
And actually, I don't know if there's like only like 5 in the world. 6. There's not that many, and there's 3 in Puerto Rico, which is kind of like impressive.
¿Qué valores aprendiste de tu familia que todavía aplicas como abogado?
Yo creo que la honestidad y trabajar fuerte. Creo que mis papás siempre eran bien trabajadores, los dos. Mi mamá era maestra de inglés, mi papá primero fue maestro, después director y estuvo siempre envuelto en educación. Y si hay algo que yo siempre observé de mis papás, es que trabajaban fuerte y eran responsables. Y a la misma vez cuidaban mucho a su familia y daban mucho amor. Y yo creo que eso era una combinación excelente. Claro, en formas distintas. Mi mamá es un poco más expresiva, mi papá un poco más recatado, pero con actos de servicio, tú sabes que todo, el trabajar fuerte, la honestidad, tú sabes que todo lo hacían con amor.
What would be your favorite? Who cooked more in your house, mom or dad?
Who cooked more? Actually, my mom.
Yeah.
Because it's so weird. My dad, my dad used to have like the longest hours because he was like a director of this, and he would work Saturdays on this uh, student program that he was the director of. So my mom, she was a teacher, so she would be earlier home and she would cook more. But my dad will cook a lot too, and will be the more inventive. Like he will like he likes to cook, and he will all of a sudden create like what is this that it's like, well, I just there was some chicken left from yesterday, and I reconstructed it. Decía, lo reconstruí, le hice cebolla, and then he created like a new dish. And it's just like him, like, and he loves to cook. So I would say that my mom cook more often. But actually, another thing is like we were 4 kids growing up because Carlitos, he came when I was already 18. So I was already like out of the house almost, and 16 to 18. So as soon as we started cooking, like we knew how to cook. Like I remember me cooking when I was in middle school, and the next day Silvita, my older sister, wanted to cook, and sometimes we would like to cook because you will get to select number one, what were you gonna cook, and number two, you serve yourself first. So it's like you get what you want. So we also cook like since we were like really young.
What would you say is your favorite dish that your mom cooked?
Oh, like that's a hard one. Which she does this pernil al caldero, which
What's
is
that?
it's the pork shoulder, and then we do pernil, which is a pork shoulder, and we usually do it on the oven, but she does it in the caldero, which is on a pot, and it's juicy. Also, the stuffing that I recreate now every year during Thanksgiving, if I'm cooking, is this stuffing that I don't know where she got it, but it's a mixture of like the bread stuffing plus the ground beef with a lot of condiments and nuts, and you combine it, and it's delicious. So those two things are like the dishes that I think about my mom when I think about her. But she also cook a lot of stuff, like even simple things like rice, pinto beans, and churrasco or
So I remember when the first time when she made a pastelon.
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
something I still think
that
about.
and actually she's coming next week, and I told her, well, when you come you need to cook us pastelon, so I'll get some ripe plantains and some ground beef, and get her to do some pastelon.
Mucha gente no sabe que serviste en el ejército. ¿Qué te motivó a enlistarse?
To be honest, it's like life circumstances. Like I was I had my two daughters. I was trying to finish school, and that wasn't going well. I was at that time already working nights at Borders, the defunct bookstore, because I worked for years at a children's shoe store, but then I quit, and it was hard to find another job, and found a job there, and it was at night, and I know my sister, she was in the National Guard, and I was thinking, what should I do with my life? And I need to do something to get out of this funk, because to be honest, it wasn't working out. Like that year, 2003, it was bad. They stole my car. It was like everything that could happen to me was happening. It's like, okay, this is. So I just went and enlisted and said, hey, I really wanted to like enlist and be like infantry, but the recruiter, they have a bunch of people enlisted for infantry. He was like, no, let's try to, because they have the numbers, they have to. So I ended up being a medic, which was really great.
And how long did you serve? I
did 4 years. I did like 22 months in Iraq, separated, in 2 different tours, but 22 months, 22 months total, and 4 years. And I was like, I'm out, because
retired?
I'm retired. No, you retire after you're 20. I just fulfilled my obligation and got out, because things were getting like, you're gonna run out of luck, and things were not getting better.
Well, thank you for your service. Mm-hmm. What would you say was the craziest thing that happened when you were on tour, on one of your deployments?
The craziest thing, I don't think, there were a lot of times that my team got attacked with IEDs, the improvised explosive devices. Starting with like the first trip I got with them, like it was uh, it was the first time that I was out with them as the medic, and all of a sudden the command vehicle blew up. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but it was pretty bad, and I had to go and check them, and then I had to run back to my vehicle, but there were some rounds inside the vehicle that were going off because of the heat, and I was like, I have to run back to my vehicle. I'm gonna get hit by our own round. So that was kind of like, and then I said, I run back like they're gonna I'm gonna get hit by our own bullets. And then I'm looking at it and I said, as a joke, I say, well, they're gonna have to scoop it up, and literally they have to bring a flatbed and scoop it up from the ground. And we used to go through there for months after, and you will still see the mark where the vehicle burned down. So that's one. Another one was, which is this one is more kind of funny and not funny, but we were going, it was called Malibu Road. It was a bad road. It was the road that, sadly, I think it was 5 or 6 from our division got ambushed, and then they were later found dead, and it was a pretty bad road. And actually, they wouldn't let us go through it, at least my team, if things were if the conditions weren't good for a helicopter to go and pick you up in case something happened, we wouldn't go. And then finally we went, and I was driving a Humvee, and we had it was this big, the size of the length of maybe a desk or that couch, and you will have to put it down. It was like a metal with a box at the end, and it was like a jammer for IEDs. So you have the Humvee, and then that thing that you would prop it up, I don't know, 8 feet in front, like the Humvee, so it will jam signals. And then that road had Constantino wires on the sides, so people wouldn't get in the road and put IEDs or whatever. So when we were going to that base through Malibu, one of the guys, by mistake, he didn't do anything wrong, but he ran over a sheep, a little baby sheep. So we do our mission, and then when we're going back, there's a bunch of people. It's a riot. They're it's ugly, and they're complaining about
running over
the sheep, and it's bad. And we have to turn around and go back to base. We cannot go through the people. And I'm not the best driver. And I start trying to do a 3-point turn to go back, and it became a 20-point turn. And everyone is screaming me, they're already facing the way towards the base, and everyone's screaming me on my head, hey Doc, what are you doing? Doc, he's and while trying to forward back, it's a mess. Then that thing that I told you about, the jammer, gets stuck with the Constantino wire. Someone from my truck has to go out and unstuck it. It was a mess. And I was it's kind of it was stressful at the moment, but then you laugh about it because it's I did a 20-point turn on Malibu Road.
Are there any skills that you learned in the Army or your time in the military that transfer over to your career now as an attorney?
Yes. I think dealing with people, because, you will think that being in the Army is just let's go and shoot or no, you have to deal with different personalities. You have to interact with different people. Also the commitment to do what you're supposed to do is really important. And I think not that I was a slob or lazy before, but it gives you more sense of if you focus, the things you can accomplish, and if you just have to work on it and try to do what you can do.
¿Siempre quisiste ser abogado?
No. Actually, growing up, there were, well, it depends. When you're a kid, you change. There was a time that I wanted to be a priest, and I would do a mass at home with my sisters. But then growing up, I was all into science and math, and I always said that I wanted to be a medical doctor. And then I used to say that I wanted to be a cardiothoracic surgeon. And I think it's because, and I forgot his name, there was this famous cardiothoracic surgeon in Puerto Rico, a guy that everyone knew about. So it's I'm going to be a cardiothoracic surgeon. And And then, I don't know, like life happens, and I went into college thinking that I was going to do that, and then I stopped going to college for a while, and then I went back and decided, well, let me just study something general and then go to law school. And when
what made you decide to study law?
I thought it was a good use of my skills. Like I think I have a good analytical mind in terms of like understanding concepts and applying them, and also I think I have obviously, keep in mind, in Spanish, I thought I was a good orator and great with words. Like, but I think I can do a decent job in English too. But I had an ease with words, and so I thought all that would translate good into the legal field. I think this thing about like, oh, this person argues a lot, they're gonna be great lawyers. No, like that's not being a lawyer. It was more about I think that I had the analytical skills and the ease of word necessary to be a good lawyer. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna go and try it. And actually, when I joined the Army, I already had the goal that I'm gonna finish my bachelor's degree that I need so I can go and apply to law school.
So you practice personal injury now.
Mm-hmm.
What made you decide to go into that field?
Well, going to law school, I got a job at a defense firm. It was a personal injury defense firm. So they get hired by the insurance companies to represent the people that get sued and the insurance companies. So to be honest, that's the job I had. It's like they offered me the job. It's like, okay, I did want to be in the courtroom. Like I really, that's something that I want. Like I didn't want, there's no way that me with my personality and ADHD or whatever, that I can do transactional work. Like I will get bored to death. So I did know that I wanted to go into the courtroom. So I think if I would have gotten a job with anyone that was in a field that would go to the courtroom, then I would have started working there. I don't know if I would have stayed, for example, in family law or criminal law, because that, the other set of skills. And so I started working and I like it. And then I decided that, I stayed for a while, for like 11, almost 12 years. And then I decided I was kind of tired of working with the insurance companies and went to the other side.
So in your experience now doing this side of personal injury, what would you say is the biggest error you see people commit after they get into a car accident?
What's the biggest error? Well, not going to get checked out right away. When, people it's like, oh no, I'm fine. And then they wait like a couple of days and it's like, okay, now I'm hurting, let me go.
Do you think that has anything to do with like, so here's my theory, because I was in a car accident in law school, like I got rear-ended, and like that day I thought like, I'm fine, it was just like a hit, right? And then I did go to the urgent care like the next day, because I was like, well, maybe I should go get checked out. And then I never like followed up with anything after that, because I was like, no, I don't want to make problems, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that has to do with like kind of a Latino like point of view, or like I really part of me thought like, is it something like from culturally, like I don't want to cause problems, like it's fine, it'll go away. But then like years later, I still had some back pain, and so I think people have this idea like, oh, it's not that bad, I don't want to go get checked out or whatever. And
I think that it is in the Latino community, but I think it happens to everyone, even when people that are not culturally identify as Latino, they have this like, well, it's just an accident, unless they end up unconscious and taken by ambulance because they're unconscious. They think, oh, it's gonna be fine. And I understand what you're saying, because since I've been in San Antonio, I've been hit like 3 times, pretty bad, pretty hard, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm fine, and I've been hurting, like just like putting ice every night on the neck, and
because sometimes like you don't realize,
like,
it's adrenaline,
or you don't want to, like it's like, oh, it hurts a little bit, but I'll be fine, and then it keeps hurting, and it's just, I think it's just people think it's like, I don't want to, it's a hassle, I don't want to get checked, and it can create issues in the future. Also, talking to the insurance companies with an attorney because they try, and that I've seen. What they do now is that they call someone and say, hey, we're gonna give you $3,000. Do you accept? So that way you don't have to. And they go like, see, or yes, and they record it, and that's taken as a valid settlement.
So if I got an accident today, what should I do in like the first 30 minutes?
You should call the police. So there's a record of the accident, and then you should go get checked out, and then you should go talk to an attorney.
If I'm in an accident and I'm like assuming like that it's not tragic, right?
No, yeah.
Should I document anything? Should I take pictures? What should I take pictures?
Well, yes. If you can take pictures of the vehicles, if in a safe way, it's don't get in an accident in the highway and start like doing a photo shoot of the vehicles. Like please be safe. Don't get yourself in more danger. So yes, taking pictures, but to be honest, the pictures are important, but the pictures of the vehicles can be taken after. It's more important that the police report, something that substantiate that there was an accident and how it happened, with the words from both parties of how it happened, and then to get checked. That for me, I know that people have photos. Yes, but you can take photos of the vehicle after. It's more important to make sure that there's, a report of the accident, that you go get checked out.
What happens if the person that hit me doesn't have insurance?
Well, it's a problem because then that person doesn't have insurance. They might not have assets that you can really go after to be compensated for your damages. That doesn't mean that you should just stop pursuing it. Sometimes you have to, they say they don't have insurance, but you have to investigate a little bit more to see if there's other insurance that applies. Like maybe they're not the owners of the vehicle and the vehicle has insurance. But there's also something called the coverage, like the underinsured, uninsured motorist coverage, uninsured, underinsured, UMUM.
What is that? Because I've heard it before.
Yes, actually, the first time I heard about it is when I started working as an attorney. Never knew about it. But by law, every insurance company has to offer it to you when you buy insurance, and you have to reject it in writing. If you don't reject it in writing, they have to cover it. Yeah, it's part of the policy. And it's just a coverage for like whatever damages the other person cannot cover, because either they have insurance that's not enough or they don't have insurance, then your insurance covers up to the limits of your coverage. So always when you're going to go buy insurance, and I know they never want to pay, you're going to pay the premiums and they're going to fight you, but it's better to have it and fight them than not have it at all. Then you should ask about UMUM insurance.
Okay. Rapid fire. Short answer questions.
Okay.
Cafe or energy drinks?
Cafe. I quit energy drinks like 2-3 years ago. So cafe.
En Puerto Rico, playa or el yunque?
Oh, playa for me. But that's a debate. Like people love the rivers more, but I love the beach. La playa is my favorite place in the world.
To live, Puerto Rico or Texas?
Oh, man, Puerto Rico. To live is like, you can go to the beach at any time.
¿Qué música escuchas cuando manejas?
When I drive, I actually don't listen to music. When I drive, I listen to CNN, like news, either like MLB Network, sports, ESPN sometimes, or audiobooks. But most of the time, I don't listen to music when I drive.
What's your most recent audiobook?
I'm actually listening to 2. I was listening to one by myself that is about, this is so nerdy. It's a modern translation of Aristotle's books. Like it's sometimes I have to like pause it. I'm driving. It's like I have to rewind it. It's that I didn't understand what they were saying because I'm driving. But then I started listening to. I was going to Houston with my wife and kid, and I said, "Hey, when driving back, you want to listen to an audiobook?" And she found one from Viola Davis and James Patterson together, and it's read by Viola Davis, and it's called Judge Stone. And actually, it's freaking amazing. I've been listening to it to try to finish it because it's great. It's called Judge Stone. I know this was supposed to be rapid fire, like one word, but you know how I am.
¿Qué haces cuando no estás trabajando?
Either like with my family, watching sports. That's what basically.
Play baseball?
I haven't played baseball this season. Like I've tried, and then I've been out when there's like games, and then like for example, this Sunday there's a game, and I'm gonna be out. So.
What superpower would you like to have?
Ooh. I think super strength is the most, because if you have the power to fly, but then if you hit something you don't have super strength, you're gonna be done. So I think super strength is either that or regeneration. I think that one. The problem with your regeneration is that it hurts still. So yeah.
What's the best life advice you've received?
Whoa. Best life advice. I don't know that there's been a lot. One is like if you want something, just work for it, and don't stop working for it just because it's gonna take a long time, because time is gonna pass by anyway. So I think that applies to everything. Like time is gonna pass by, life is gonna pass by. Don't stop doing something just because there's no time or it's too much time. You just do what you want and what you need to do.
What do you want people to remember when they hear the name Pablo Rivera, El Bate Boricua?
El Bate Boricua. That's not gonna stick, so I hope they think that I was a good person. I think that's my main goal, and I think that's my goal even for my children and my friends and families, that that they're good people, that I was a good person. It's like, oh, Pablo, he was a good guy. Like.
Good. Gracias por acompañarlos en el primer episodio de Pregúntale a Pablo. If you have questions about accidents or just
Puerto Rico, life,
baseball, the Mets, you want to know more about Pablo, send us your questions online on Instagram, y nos vemos en el próximo episodio.
Yes. See you guys.